SC16, your home for everything Ithaca and Nashville. It starts right now. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of SC16. Alongside Matt Rahemba and Salty Steve, I'm Jonah Stuccio. We have a great show lined up for you fans today. We'll be talking to Sean Jackson, Bombers baseball. But first, on the line with us right now, we have Syracuse basketball recruit Chris McCullough joining us today. Chris, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
First, what were the other schools that you were considering besides Syracuse, and what made you choose the Orange?
Louisville, Indiana, UConn, and what made me choose Syracuse is the fans and the coaches.
All right. You're ranked at number 29 in the ESPN Top 100. Last year, Tyler Ennis was in the low 20s as well and put in a fantastic freshman year. Do you think you can also play above your ranking?
Yes, I believe I can. I mean, I was ranked higher than that before I got kicked out of school. But it's all about just coming to play next season.
So you're 6'10", 220. You're an athletic, lengthy player. But what type of player should Syracuse expect to see going into next season?
Every year Syracuse recruit players with lifts. I think I could bring lifts to the table, rebounding, blocking shots, and then scoring the ball.
What have you done to prepare for your freshman season at Syracuse?
I definitely added some more weight, more lifting with trainers out here. I'm just working on everything, my overall game, shooting, dribbling, coming off screens.
What obstacles in your life have prepared you to play basketball for Syracuse?
I think when my cousin had passed away, I took basketball more and more serious.
So, you've been saying you've done a lot to prepare for this season, but looking at your high school career, you've really been playing, you really practically been the tallest guy on the court when you stepped out on the court in high school. So, what do you have to do to really adjust your game to play at a high level Division I school?
I think that, the schools I played at Brewster Academy, that's a school who recruits players, who's going high, major. We play good schools, good teams, good players. So, I think I prepared myself. I'm preparing myself now for next season.
Now, Coach Boeheim in Syracuse, all the fans know, the 2-3 zone. Have you ever played anything like the 2-3 zone? If not, have you done anything to prepare to play the 2-3 zone?
I played 2-3 zone when I played AAU 2 seasons ago, and this year we played 1-3-1. It's similar, but it's a zone too, so I should know how to play.
Right. Going to Syracuse is going to be a big adjustment. What are you looking most forward to in this upcoming year?
Just meeting new people, meeting fans and stuff, and just playing in a carry zone.
Is there a specific player that you look at the next level that you really try to resemble your game after when you step on the basketball court?
Not really. I want to be myself, but I like Paul George and Rudy Gay.
Cool. Now, Syracuse is known for their bonkers crowd and are most likely to break the attendance record once again this year. You said earlier that you chose Syracuse because of the fans. Have you ever played in front of anything close to the 35,000 plus that they played in this year? And what do you think of the crowd?
I never played anything that big. The most probably has been 5,000. And the crowd's crazy. That's why I like to play in front of. It's preparing you for the next level, which is the NBA level for the fan stuff. So hopefully we'll see how it goes.
Now, going into next year, Syracuse is actually losing a couple of players. Did Coach Boeheim ever tell you about playing time going into next season, or did he just say, keep working and that could possibly happen for you next year?
Yeah, he talked to me about playing time. He just said, keep playing my game. He always told me I'm a good player. Just keep playing my game, keep getting stronger, keep working on everything, and you should be good.
Now, next season, CJ Fair is not going to be there for Syracuse, but you and CJ kind of have some similarities. You guys both attended Brewster Academy for a while, and you're actually going to be wearing number 5 for Syracuse next year. Are you going to try and resemble CJ Fair's game or any way? Or are you going to try and sculpt your own path in the number 5 jersey?
I'm trying to do my own path. He did a lot with that number 5 jersey, so we'll see. But I'm trying to do my own. We do play similar a little bit. Both got mid-range games.
Now, Syracuse, they were they lost in the round of 32 to Dayton, a good team who had a Cinderella run. What are your goals for next season? Is it the national championship? Is it to make the NBA, or just win as a team in the whole?
Just get wins, keep winning. See how far we go in the tournament. Maybe go far in the tournament. Hopefully win the whole thing. That's my goal in the long run.
Now, I'm sure you watched Syracuse play this year. Was it tough seeing them get an early elimination in the tournament? You know, or did you have that urgency to want to go out there and really help them going into next year?
Yeah, man, it was tough seeing them lose the Dayton. My boy actually played the Dayton, so I was like rooting both teams at the same time. I wanted Syracuse to win, but they took a tough loss.
Now, what do you think of Tyler Ennis and Tyler Ennis going to the NBA? And do you think Jeremy Grant will go as well? Tyler Ennis, the star point guard, it's going to hurt without him. Actually, your buddy Caleb Joseph, he's going to be coming in next year. What do you think you and Caleb can do as freshmen, most likely in the starting lineup?
I know Caleb is ready. We talk all the time. We both ready, prepared for this, so it should be a good season next year. I'm not worried about it.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you for coming on the air with us today. Best of luck next year at Syracuse, and thanks once again.
Thank you.
Well, that was the one and only Chris McCullough playing basketball for Syracuse, the Syracuse Orange next year. It should be interesting to see what he can do going into next year, considering highly recruited and, a lot of young guys coming in for Syracuse. So it should be interesting to see what they do next year.
You heard those lists of schools. Very impressive schools on the list for Chris. Indiana, Louisville, and I'm glad he picked Syracuse, me being the huge Syracuse fan.
You love Syracuse.
It was an honor talking to him. I loved it. It was awesome. Now, big news out of the NFL. We're going to kind of switch scenes here. Big news out of the NFL. DeSean Jackson signed with the Washington Redskins earlier this morning, leaving his old team of the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's something that we kind of expected. The past few days, it was really DeSean Jackson visiting with the Redskins. We all know he was visiting with them. All the reports were out there. So, honestly, I feel like the move for DeSean Jackson, that's a huge move, a 3-year, $24 million. I'm a little surprised, actually, he signed for $24 million. I thought he was going to try to sign for a little bit more, actually a lot more than $24 million.
24 was a low number.
24 was a very low number, and I think that's a great move on the Redskins' part to sign him for not that big of a contract,
especially
a 3-year deal.
From a division opponent.
Yeah, getting him from a divisional opponent, I think that's a huge move. Adding a guy like DeSean Jackson for RG3 to really help him build and try to improve, try to really just go back to the way he
last
used to
season. RG3's top target was Pierre Garçon. I mean,
he's a good receiver. Yeah, he's not DeSean Jackson.
He's getting old. He had his time in Indianapolis. He peaked. He's going down.
Yeah.
Now you get DeSean Jackson, big downfield threat.
You look at him on special teams as well as a punt returner. I mean, the guy can do so much for your team. It's huge.
I'd also like to point out, DeSean Jackson has a great track record with quarterbacks that move out of the pocket. He and Michael Vick had a special connection for at least half a season there when Michael Vick was the starting quarterback in Philadelphia. But the thing about the DeSean Jackson move is I'm not sure it was all about football. Because the Philadelphia Eagles, if it was about football, even if they're talking about locker room chemistry, they would not have cut DeSean Jackson the way they did. And this
so you think it was some off the field?
Yeah, well, the
think
way
it was...
the media has been reporting it has been a lot based around gang ties that DeSean Jackson had, and I'm not sure I buy into that.
I don't necessarily agree with it.
I buy into it. I don't want to diss DeSean Jackson. He'll probably never going to listen to this podcast anyway. I mean, we're just a couple college kids in Ithaca.
Why would you listen to this?
Yeah, he has nothing. There's no reason for him to listen to this. But I read a couple things. They're considered conspiracy theories, but he supposedly has ties with the Crips. Salt, let me finish my statement. You can wait. Okay. He supposedly has ties with the Crips. In his Instagram account, it is called Rock Records or Rock Nation. ROCC is the way he spells it. The rumor has it is in Crip language, you're not supposed to put a K after a C because that stands for Crip killer.
Well, there are also reports from his high school AD teacher saying that he wasn't in a gang. So
he's a superstar athlete. Why would you come out and say, "Oh yeah, our famous people from
people that you're gonna try to knock it." People get famous, people try to knock you. But for the teachers to come out and say that he wasn't in a gang, I think that speaks volumes.
If you make it big and you know people from your childhood, no matter what they do, even if they're unsuccessful, even if they make poor decisions, you're not going to turn your back on them if you're standing on the side of being a good person to their side. If you look at Sports Illustrated, Richard Sherman wrote an article for Sports Illustrated that was put online today. He defended DeSean Jackson with a passion. He pointed out flaws in the fact that even if he has connections to people who have made poor decisions, he is still a good. That doesn't make. You can't judge DeSean Jackson based off of who he's associated with.
Listen. I don't think gang affiliation for DeSean Jackson was the issue. When you look at this thing, when you look at everything that was going on in the past few weeks, I don't think gang affiliation was really the biggest thing for DeSean Jackson. I think you got to look at other things. There's been questions about his work ethic. There's been questions about how he acts on the field. He's been known to have a temper. There's been questions about that. I think when you look at him, he signed for 3 years, $24 million. You could go a lot of ways with that. You can look at what other team. There are probably not that many teams out there, if not any, that were interested in signing him. So Washington was his only choice. 3 year, $24 million. DeSean Jackson is worth a lot more than that. So that you should, when you look at this situation, this could have possibly been his only deal that he had to go with, and he would have had to deal with it.
Very well could have possibly been that, but you pointed out that there was stuff in the locker room, there was chemistry issues that might have led to him being cut by the Eagles. But at the same time, how do the Eagles cut DeSean Jackson and still pay him $6 million a year to not play for them and give Riley Cooper a huge deal when Riley Cooper was quoted with very offensive language in that locker room?
I think that's what caused that locker turmoil. I mean, Riley Cooper saying that at the concert, everyone probably knows what he said. I do not want to repeat this on the air, but he shouldn't have said that. I think that's what created some problems. Michael Vick said it was okay. DeSean Jackson said it was okay. I mean, it's always an issue. I mean, race is always an issue coming to locker room.
That's true, but you also look at Chip Kelly. What did he do with Oregon? He left after he told all his players that he was practically going to come back and he was going to be fine. He comes to Philadelphia, tells DeSean Jackson, "Oh, we're really interested in keeping you." There was all those reports out there that he was interested in keeping DeSean Jackson. He wanted him to stay as an Eagle. DeSean Jackson actually, I believe he tweeted out or posted a picture on Instagram that he was an Eagle forever or something like that. So there could have been just trust issues with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly has been known to leave his players and walk out. So maybe Chip Kelly, it was something that had to do with him.
Shot at Chip Kelly?
Well,
don't tell Luke Wysocki.
Don't tell Luke Wysocki. But hey, Chip Kelly, I mean, he's been known to walk out on his players. He did it at Oregon, and he did it right here with DeSean Jackson. It's been something that he's done.
Chip Kelly didn't make the decision to cut DeSean Jackson.
He was clearly, he had to have been a big
part.
He's the head coach.
Has to make
Chip Kelly is involved in all those decisions, so he had to have been involved in it.
Even though it's probably not true, a team doesn't want Aaron Hernandez 2.0.
I don't think we should go Aaron Hernandez 2.0 with DeSean Jackson.
No, I'm saying
he hasn't like Aaron Hernandez. He always
hasn't done
his
anything
stories.
wrong. He doesn't.
No,
but coming
out
of high school,
work ethic, things like that.
Yeah, no, but
he hasn't been known
gang ties. You hear gang ties. First thing that comes to your mind: gang ties in an NFL team. What do you think of?
Well, you think of Aaron Hernandez, but
yeah,
he wasn't in it.
I'm sorry, but Aaron Hernandez is convicted
I'd like to read a
of
quote
a
when you're done,
crime,
Salty.
and I'd like to go back to that Richard Sherman article in Sports
Sure,
Illustrated if you'd allow me to.
Absolutely, go for it.
If
Do whatever you want, Salt.
Jim Irsay was arrested for driving under the influence, nobody has suggested, and I'm quoting, nobody suggested the Colts owner had ties to drug trafficking, even though he was caught driving with controlled substances.
Well, let me say this before you go any farther. Gang affiliation I think that's too strong. I think he has ties to his friends. He has ties to someone in a gang.
Everyone has ties to people they know from their past. If I make it big, I'm not gonna close the door to everybody I knew in my past. I'm gonna stand by them.
Absolutely, and that's my point. When you look at, hold on, guys, hold on 1 second. When you look at his former coach, former Poly coach, Raul Lara. He was quoted in a NewJersey.com story saying Jackson started to hang around some not-so-good people after his father died, said his comments were taken out of context and had nothing to do with gang affiliations. He went on to later say, "Gangbanger, what the hell is that about? He's not a gangbanger," Lara told the presstelegram.com. All I was saying was that it was a tragic part of his life when his father died. He's not a gangbanger. I don't know where they're getting that from, and I didn't say that he was. I was close with his dad, and I know that when his dad passed, it really hit him. So, gang affiliation.
Honestly,
it's hard.
In
It's
that,
hard.
Listen,
in that,
in that type of situation, you could look to negatives. You know, that's a typical thing to do. You could look at the negatives of life. But really, DeSean Jackson, I don't think he's a bad guy. I mean, there's that stuff going around about DeSean Jackson. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think DeSean Jackson, he's a great addition for the Washington Redskins. I think Redskins fans everywhere should be glad
Great
that they're
addition
able to
for
have
the
him.
Redskins.
Yeah,
Great
going back to the football aspect.
If he can just stay focused on the field, work hard, keep doing his thing, I feel like this move for the Redskins is going to pay off for them in the long run, especially for your number one pick a few years ago, RG3.
Oh, it's
Especially giving up so much to get RG3, multiple first-round picks.
They actually gave up what was their pick? They gave to the Rams this year, the second pick, third pick.
They gave two first-round
I mean, they
picks
put a
to the
lot
Rams,
into.
so
They've been putting a lot into RG3. So to see them put a guy like Pierre, to see them put a guy like DeSean Jackson around
With
RG3.
Pierre
It kind of reminds me.
Pierre Garcon. It's
DeSean Jackson's kind of reminds
you got
me
that.
of
You got the
Santana
leadership
Moss.
role of Pierre Garcon.
Santana Moss for the Redskins a couple years back. He kind of reminds me of him. Deep downfield threat, quick, agile. He really moves.
Although DeSean Jackson really adds a lot to this Washington team, they still have holes. Their offensive line needs work. Their defense needs work. But this definitely makes them a better team, and in that NFC East, that really closes the gap.
He stays in the NFC East. Now he's going to be a rival.
He's going to play the Eagles twice a season.
Luke Wysocki, our friend from up top, he's really, really upset about that. He does not want to see DeSean Jackson in the burgundy and gold.
I don't think any Eagles fan does. I'm pretty sure all Eagles fans everywhere want him to switch to at least another conference. But he's still in the NFC East. I mean, he's still going to have to play the Eagles. So Eagles fans everywhere, I mean, you get rid of DeSean Jackson, but you still have to play him. And that's going to be a huge issue for your team next season.
Yeah, DeSean Jackson, I think he's going to make a big, big influence on the Redskins. I predicted yesterday after they signed him that they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to come back. RG3 is going to have a healthy knee. They're going to make the playoffs with DeSean Jackson. They're going to be able to.
I think that's the X factor.
Yeah, X factor is
RG3's knee. I think that's the X factor. If he can stay
healthy. It's not
healthy,
even a player. It's just a knee. If he can stay healthy,
it's one body part of Richard
that can make or break a player.
RG3.
He's torn a couple ACLs here and there, but I think
which has to be an issue.
I think getting rid of Mike Shanahan as the coach is a great.
Absolutely.
He's known to play players on injuries. Terrell Davis a couple years back when he was in Denver, he had really bad injuries, and Mike Shanahan is credited for ruining his career for playing him with injuries. And
I mean, he even did it with RG3 too. He played him when he was injured. I mean, he really didn't do much to protect RG3. RG3 was still out there running around. He should have did something. He should have told him, "Hey, stop running around. What are you doing? You're gonna get knocked out." Like you did in a few games actually. So I mean, RG3 really has to reshape his game with the new head coach. I feel like he's gonna have to become more of a
let's
passer.
not forget what did Alfred Morris do in his first year as a rookie?
Oh, he was unbelievable.
Not very good.
Phenomenal, Alfred Morris.
I don't think it's just RG3's fault. I think there's some trouble with the offensive line, but obviously I'm not the general manager of the Redskins. I don't know what to do. I'm not a football guy. I'm more of a basketball guy, but I just can tell that they need protection up front.
Alfred Morris's first year, 1,613 yards, and he played every game. 13 touchdowns. Even last year with not that great of an offensive line, over 1,000 yards, played every game, and he rushed for 7 touchdowns. So I mean, Alfred Morris is a young, up-and-coming running back. So they're really putting a lot of young pieces around this team to try to build them up to really try to dominate the NFC East going over the next few years. It should be interesting what the Redskins.
I got one stat.
Let's hear it.
One stat.
Let's hear this.
Since entering the league in 2008.
Nobody.
I say nobody.
Nobody.
Wait, can you guys say it for me?
Nobody.
Nobody.
All right.
Has more
Somebody
receiving
should be in one
touchdowns,
direction.
30-plus yards than DeSean Jackson, who has 21.
He's a deep threat.
Like deep
threat,
downfield
quick
threat.
guy. He can
Listen,
break tackle.
imagine what our RG3 threw some bombs. Let me repeat it, bombs when he was
Go
at Baylor.
Bombers.
Yeah, there you go. Great connection. He threw some bombs when he was at Baylor. He
Yes.
has an
Yeah.
arm.
Yeah.
And to have DeSean Jackson downfield for him to throw to.
Especially when he's scrambling out of the pocket. There is going to be so many broken plays where RG3 just
Finds
throws
DeSean.
it up 50 yards down the field, Brady to Moss style, Montana to Rice style, and get a big touchdown.
Or let's visit something, you big Patriots fan. Let's visit Eli Manning to David Tyree, and that's
Oh, sir!
Sir! Wait, can we hear that one more
That
time?
is disrespectful, sir!
David Tyree. That's
That's some bad memories right there.
Yeah,
Sal.
I'm sorry for that.
Going
but-
back to
hey.
2007 for that one,
yeah,
that's
I'm
that
Taking
is.
shots from a while ago, a few years ago.
Hey, you were talking about deep downfield, throw it up.
It's a good
Hail
comparison.
Marys.
I mean, it won them the Super
I just wanted to
Bowl.
push your buttons a little bit, like Pete's pushing the buttons in the control room.
Did
Thanks,
that?
Pete.
Wait. I feel like that could be a good transition to our next topic. What Jonah just said, did that grind your gears, Salty?
That did grind my gears,
You wanna
but
know-
I want to know what
wanna know
grinds
what's
your
grinding my
gears.
You know what
Right
time
now?
it is, guys? It's
What?
Matt Rahemba.
Let's hear it.
Grinding your gears segment.
All right, you know what? This is going to be a new thing that we're doing. We're just going to go over what's been grinding my gears lately.
What's been
and
upsetting him?
you know what? I love New York sports. I don't necessarily have... Okay, I'm a Jets and Rangers fan. I'm not afraid
Boo.
to admit it. I love the Jets and Rangers.
Let's go Jets,
Jets, Jets.
Boo. They
Hey,
stink.
hey. But I also enjoy watching the Yankees and the Mets.
Not even
And
from Boston, something.
and yeah, you're from Acton, Massachusetts.
He's acting like he's
You're
from
not-
Boston.
Oh!
Kill him.
Well,
I
listen,
still can be a Boston sports fan. But
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
tell
absolutely.
me
Listen,
what's grinding your gears.
listen,
So
I'm gonna
that's
get
what
there,
I
I'm
want to
gonna get
hear.
there. Okay, CC Sabathia. You know,
Bad
he-
performance.
Awful tear. I mean, just having to hear about what CC Sabathia did. I wasn't able to watch the game, but the guy gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first inning.
To the Houston
Gave up
Astros.
4 runs in the first inning. To the Houston Astros.
The worst
Can you
team.
name one player on the Houston Astros? No. I'm sure we can only name one player. Name 2 players on the Houston Astros.
I can't.
even name one.
You can't.
I can't
You
even
can't.
name one.
Because you know why? Because they stink. They're the worst team in Major League Baseball. And CC Sabathia went out there and he pooped the bed, okay? CC Sabathia was absolutely terrible. And you know what? He's been a guy who has been down, you saw him last year. He had the worst season of his career. And you know what? I feel like CC Sabathia is just going to go downhill from here. The guy
lost
has
all
not
that
even
weight,
touching,
he lost
the
his
guy
game.
isn't even touching 90 anymore. The guy's topping out at about 89, 88, 89 right now. You know, he has lost. I know he's lost his weight. I know he's done this, that. But the
there's his
velocity
power.
has been the biggest thing for CC Sabathia. He's been known to be a power pitcher, strike guys out, throw inside with that mid-90s fastball. So, I mean, I know. Here's the thing. CC Sabathia hasn't been that great of an opening day pitcher. Okay, he hasn't been that great of an opening day pitcher. I believe he is 1-2. Yeah, he's 1-2 with a 5.80 ERA in opening day. But you know what? CC Sabathia, with his velocity, I don't think he's going to be able to do much for the Yankees this season. He could be the biggest problem for the Yankees this season, considering they've added all those guys. I feel like CC Sabathia could be the guy to ruin the Yankee season.
Break the Yankees.
See,
He's supposed to be their ace.
Break the farewell tour. Jeter.
a few years ago,
That's the way I see it.
That's
That's the way I see it.
He single-handedly brought Milwaukee to the playoffs in the second half of the season. But that
What
was
happened
a
to
few
that
years ago.
CC Sabathia?
Where
is he?
He's 33 years old now. He's growing old. In
33?
baseball terms, he is leaving his prime.
These guys playing baseball in their late 30s. 33, I feel like that's a good age.
CC, listen.
Listen. When you look at guys in the Yankees rotation, you got Kuroda, Tanaka. I mean, you got Nova, but
Without
CC is their
CC.
ace.
Yeah.
CC is their
CC's
ace.
the
He's supposed to
they
be the guy
signed him. They
leading the
signed-
way.
I don't like the
for
Yankees,
the
but I'm gonna
Yankees.
tell you,
And you know
it's gonna
what?
be-
I
it's
don't
gonna-
think he's going to do
it's
much
gonna-
this season.
Kuroda and Tanaka are going to save the Yankees rotation.
Well,
If anything, they're going to save the Yankees rotation. If they can't do it, they are in a poop hole. They are done.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Yankees rotation is Sabathia needs to be the number one. Even if those guys perform well, Sabathia needs to be number one. And I think Skip
Why,
Bayless.
just because they're giving him so much
I
money.
think that Skip Bayless said it best on Twitter today that CC Sabathia, you
Skip
can't
Bayless.
count. CC can't count on Sabathia.
Skip Bayless said that.
Skip Bayless said that
He's
on
a-
Twitter
Stephen A.
today.
He's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
I'm on the Stephen A. Smith bandwagon though.
He's a warrior of the. Say it, Salt.
About Kevin Garnett, Stephen A. Smith said he's a warrior of the highest order. All right.
Gets me every time.
Can we say the
I
same
love
about CC Sabathia?
No, he's
You can't.
not Kevin
Not-
Garnett. He's not a warrior of the highest order.
He lost his weight. He lost his velocity.
And
It's
he
that
lost,
simple.
He lost his weight. He lost his velocity. He's throwing like 88 now.
See, there's pitchers though
Listen.
that don't need that. Greg Maddux made a career out of throwing
Hey, Tim
not
Wakefield.
that fast.
Tim Wakefield.
Well,
That
Tim Wakefield was
he
a
had the
knuckleball.
nastiest knuckleball of all time. I mean, that guy's knuckleball was insane.
Missed that man.
And CC Sabathia,
He's got to adjust.
He's got to adjust. I just don't know how well he's going to do to adjust because he's been known to be a power pitcher his whole career.
See,
So that you're asking a lot out of CC Sabathia to try to just come in and say, hey, you got to work. You got to be able to hit your spots now. Do this, that. CC Sabathia's been a power pitcher his whole career. I think that'd be a tough thing for him to adjust to.
This feels like
Someone who played
2005.
baseball, I can say that.
Yeah. This feels like 2005 Pedro Martinez to me. Because when he went to the Mets, he started losing his velocity. He had good movement on his pitches, but he was incapable at times of getting batters out, and that's what we saw from CC Sabathia yesterday. It's one performance, first game of the season. There's 162 games. He's going to get over 30 starts if he stays healthy. But that's not what you want to see first game of the season if you're
Especially
the New York Yankees.
Against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, they're
The
awful.
worst team in Major League Baseball.
They're the 76ers of the MLB.
They're terrible.
They're
They're
just awful.
I mean,
I wouldn't pay money to go watch those guys. They're awful.
I went to Houston.
I
went
would.
to Houston for.
Would
Final
you really?
Four. I went to Houston
You
for
would
the
pay
Final
money to go
Four.
watch the
And
Astros?
when they were good, there was maybe they had a game. There was like 8 cars in the parking lot. There was
Listen,
no one. I could have walked in and sat first row behind home plate if I really wanted to.
let-
For free.
See, that's why I would pay. I would move up to the front row.
See, I could do that.
I mean, a
minor
baseball
league
game is a baseball game,
I
but
feel like we all have minor league baseball teams in our area. Am I right?
Syracuse
Lowell
Chiefs,
Spinners,
I
Lowell
got the
Spinners,
Hudson
single
Valley
A.
Renegades, and Jonah has the Syracuse Chiefs.
AAA affiliate of the
So I mean,
Washington
hey,
Nationals.
we could go to a minor league game, spend a lot less money. They're more fun anyway. I'd rather go to a minor
But
league
like
game
you
anyway.
said last week, it's all the people who aren't going to make it to the MLB. It's just the old guys or guys who are hurt.
Or
hey,
you see a good prospect in
Bryce
Matt
Harper
Aiken.
played for Syracuse
Hey,
Chiefs.
I
The
met Bryce
Renegades had
Harper.
Josh Hamilton and Evan Longoria.
John Lester played
And
for
Jim Shields.
the Lowell Spinners, single A when he was drafted.
But
Dustin
listen.
Pedroia.
The bottom line is CC Sabathia, 14-13 last year, 4.78 ERA, just losing his velocity. He's not the same pitcher as he used to be. I feel like you're going to ask a lot out of CC Sabathia to try to adjust to become a more of a finesse type of pitcher, like a Greg Maddux type of guy. I just don't see how well he's going to do to adjusting that. And I feel like the Yankees are going to have a tough time
So
with
that's what's
CC
been grinding your
Sabathia.
gears, or Humbo?
That is what has been grinding my gears since yesterday, since that was the first game.
All right,
so
you
it's
know-
been grinding me ever
you know,
since
You know,
yesterday.
I'm thinking.
What
We're
do
on
you
the
think?
topic
What do
of
you think?
ERA.
Yeah.
We're on the topic of baseball.
Yeah.
Let's go down to college.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about
Ithaca?
our very
Oh,
own Ithaca Bombers
The
baseball team.
Bombers, baby. The
And
Bombers.
When I say
Bombers
ERA, I'm talking
baseball.
about John Prendergast.
Oh.
0.35 ERA.
I feel like he's been
4-0 on the year.
Why doesn't he just
in his
pitch for the
4 starts.
Yankees?
Yeah.
Seriously.
He doesn't throw
Why
that.
isn't-
He throws high 80s, just like CC.
Why can't
he
he-
can do just as.
4-0, 0.35 ERA, 26 innings pitched. I mean,
I'll take those numbers.
I'll take those numbers any day.
I'll
Yeah,
take those numbers any
Opponent
day of the
batting
week.
average .161. That sounds like my little league numbers.
Listen,
The
Bombers-
No, I'm kidding. I wasn't that bad.
hey, everyone was a stud in Little League.
I was a stud in little.
I
league.
was a stud.
The
He was probably a stud in Little
world,
League.
the world was a stud
Pete
in
was
Little
definitely
League.
a stud. Pete, look at him. Look at him. Swing, hitting home runs.
He's
doing
he's
his
back
thing.
in the studio doing his own
What
thing.
type of hitter do you think Pete was back
I'm
in
gonna
his...
say Pete hit for power, but he was one of those kids.
He played catcher. He
Pete
definitely
was
played catcher.
He was. Pete was definitely a catcher.
He
Pete,
just not
I bet Pete played first base too. A little bit of first base. No first base, Pete.
Oh, he's played catcher.
put a comma.
He's played catcher. Oh,
Catcher.
what else? Oh,
Third base.
Some hot corner.
No way.
Some hot corner.
Pete, I played third base too.
Corner outfield. So right.
Corner outfield. That's not too good.
Right fielder.
That's-
You know what? I say Pete is the
Hey.
type of hitter who gets the hook on the ball. He's being cocky about it and ends up hitting the fence. And he gets a single or double. out of
See,
it.
here's the
Listen,
thing about
Chicks dig
Pete.
the long ball, and that's what Pete did. He hit long. He hit
Pete's
the
middle
long
name
ball.
is a long ball.
He was the general on the field playing catcher, and now he's the general in the studio hitting all the buttons behind the scenes.
He's-
It's a
he-
good transition for Pete.
He
I-
said-
I love it. I love it.
Baseball, the control room. What can get better than that? It's what he wants to do. Pete's a slugger. Pete's a slugger.
Chicks dig the long ball. That's what Pete did.
All right, so
man.
let's get back to.
That's
Oh
what he
my
did.
God, my voice just cracked.
Whoa.
So bad.
Whoa.
I'm gonna
Sir.
go take a
Sir!
Take a lap. All right.
I'll be right back.
All right. Back on Bomber baseball. Okay.
All right, so we talked about Prendergast, 4-0,
Prendergast.
.35 ERA, 26 innings pitched. But after that, I need to ask you guys,
Yeah,
who
go for it.
Who else is performing for this pitching staff right now?
Nobody.
There's not a single person.
Nobody.
Zilch.
They really don't have anyone else right now. I mean, their team ERA is well over 4.
The scoring.
The team ERA is well over 4. I believe it's a 4.18 right now.
That's correct, Remba.
4.18. I mean, the pitching staff hasn't really been doing much. So when you look at the pitching staff, seeing what they haven't been able to do, you take a look at what the hitting
And what they have been doing. Colby G, the third baseman, he is he's batting 500. 489. Wow, that dropped down.
They actually won. They actually won their first game. So you guys
beat
Oneonta.
Oneonta.
We're recording. It's 4:45 right now. They won their first game.
And now they have game 2 coming up.
Yep.
In a little bit.
The Oneonta Red Dragons. The wonderful Oneonta Red Dragons. Not much of a baseball school, but hey, it's EA baseball.
I don't really like dragons, I'm more of a...
But listen,
I like Imagine Dragons.
Four players on the Bombers team hitting 400 or over. Colby G, Tim Henry, Brian Burns, and the freshman Trevor Thompson.
Trevin Thompson off the bench.
Off of the bench. He's doing it. He's been a huge addition.
He's been killing it. He's only a
freshman.
He's
a fresh.
Yeah, he's our age.
He's our age, and
he's killing it.
Making an impact.
He has in 20 at bats. He has he has 8 hits, 400 ERA. He's just hitting for contact. No doubles, no triples, no homers. But
listen, he's gonna be a guy who's gonna get on base for your team, and he's gonna be able to allow your power hitters like Colby G, a guy like Tim Henry.
Yeah.
You take another look at Matt Connolly hitting over 300 right now. He's going to allow those guys to be able to drive in runs, and he's going to be a huge addition for the Bombers. And he's only a freshman.
13 ribbies on the year. It's the team. They went out to California. They didn't do too hot out there.
Oh yeah, you look at them last year. Their first 4 losses came in California.
But
they were. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt.
They played tougher competition.
Competition's always better out in California.
Absolutely.
And Ithaca went out there with a week or 2 of preparation. California has 18 years of preparation because they can play every day.
Yeah, Ithaca had every game besides one that was canceled. Before heading over to California, they beat Old Westbury. They played a doubleheader against them.
Hold on.
They won 1-0, and they won the second game 2-0.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And they went out to California to try to play that competition. You gotta give them the benefit of the
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second. This
that guy.
Ithaca Bombers team was ranked by D3 Baseball as the number 5 team in the country in the preseason. And I don't care if you don't have preparation. I don't care if you haven't played any. If you have the talent,
hear me out.
you need to come out and perform.
Hear me out.
You are one of the best teams.
Remember what I just said last year? Their first 4 losses came in California.
Yes, but I know.
Look at how well they did last year.
Who cares about last year? This is this year.
I'm gonna say this right now.
But it's a good thing their first 4 losses came in the same place last year, and look at how well they did.
Okay, I'll give it to them. They're coming back now. They're performing well.
They're 10-4.
Gonna hop in on this real quick. I said this. It hurts for me to say this. It's not related. But Syracuse basketball last year, they lost the last 5 of their 8.
Blah.
And the same result didn't happen.
So
I'm gonna go salty on this one. There's no such thing
as Pete writes on the board. Get over it, Jonah.
I'm over.
Get over
it. Hurts. I cried.
Sir.
You really cried?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
grow
get
up.
back to it.
Grow up. But here's what I'm saying. Ithaca, they need to perform to their level consistently throughout the season. I know they played tough competition out in California. I know they hadn't played much, but they got to get on a roll.
Absolutely. And they're getting on a roll now. They're 10-4. They just beat Oneonta. They're going to play them coming up in a little bit. But I have a question for you guys. They made an appearance last year in the World Series, the College World Series. Do you guys see that being the case this year, or should we just say let it all play out and see what happens?
I think they win the E8.
Oh, they're definitely going to win.
They're going to win the E8. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the competition outside New York State college baseball. But actually, I'm going to say this. If Oswego State, I'm going to rep my hometown boys, Oswego North. If Oswego State makes it to the NCAA tournament this year, I think they're a force to be reckoned with. Kid on their team, Eric Hamilton, look him up. Last year, he was the Section 3 Baseball Player of the Year. Played for the Cicero North Syracuse North Stars.
Yes.
He's a monster as a freshman. Monster. I saw him. I broadcasted a game last year for the Oswego High School Buccaneers.
Oh, aren't you fancy?
He hit 2.
Mr. Cool Guy.
He hit 2 home runs that I watched live. Two bombs. They were probably
Not one.
They're probably like 375, 400 feet each. They were so far that they went across the street and hit the top of Friendly's.
How far did they go?
375 feet.
How far? Okay, well, we're moving back to Ithaca because that's where we are.
Listen,
I think
I feel like, yeah, absolutely. And you look at St. John Fisher, they're a team that was
Fisher's
also
always good.
They're 12-1 on the
they're
season.
a team that is clearly going to be could be a roadblock for Ithaca. But I think the losses of last year of Pat Lemo and Tim LaCastro, who is actually playing in the Toronto Blue Jays organization right now. He's in their minor league system. But I feel like the loss of Pat Lemo is huge because he was their ace last year. And I feel like John Prendergast is going to have to be that new guy. And he's clearly showing early on that
performing.
He's their workhorse. He's going to have to be that guy
but
who leads the way on the mound. But right now, I mean,
someone
Benji
else needs
Parks
to
is
step
their
up.
other starter, and he's got a 5.19 ERA, and he's 1-2. I mean, let's be honest, that's not going to do much for your team. You got to get guys that are really going to show up, and you can't just have John Prendergast trying to go out there and just pitch every game for your team to
Sounds
try
like
to win.
old
It's not
school
going to happen.
Little League. Old school Little League. Pitch every game until your arm falls off.
I mean, Prendergast isn't going to do that.
You can't do
can't.
that.
You can't.
That's not a possibility.
He's not gonna do that.
He is. He's good.
But
he's solid.
here's the thing that I'm questioning is when Ithaca gets to the point, if they get far enough in their season in the playoffs, to face these California teams again, face these teams from Texas.
Well, you don't know that they're ever gonna.
If they get that far, then how are they going to perform given their performances against these teams?
They performed
early in the
fine last
season?
year. You got to give them time to develop. You know,
Some
early
of
on
those
in
teams-
the season, they
some
didn't
of
do
those
well
teams-
against teams in
Some of
California.
those teams they
but
played in
did well
California
later
didn't have winning
in the
records.
season.
Some have lost 3 times. I mean, you don't know if they're going to match up against them this year, but you have to listen. Salty, you played basketball in high school, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Well, not varsity, but yes.
Well, you play basketball.
Yes.
So you go away for 3 weeks. Do you come back and your shot's the same?
Jonah, are you questioning my jump shot? No, I'm kidding, folks. Your jump shot goes away.
It goes away. So what do you think when they take? Well, let's see. It's how many months out of the year?
Yeah, but they were practicing.
They play
They were
every year.
they were
They play all
practicing
year round.
in the beautiful
California, Texas,
A&E
and
Center.
Wow.
And is that going to equate to
A&E
on the
Center.
field?
Yeah,
There's
there's real
no-
dirt in there.
That's no way that's going to equate to on the field. But look at last season, Ithaca was 1 win away from going to the World Series championship, and they lost 5-4 in 13 innings to Southern Maine. They actually beat the game before that last year. They beat the #1 team in the nation, Linfield. They beat them 6-4.
But this is last year. They had better pitching last year. They
And
don't have
better
the same
hitters.
pitching.
They have better hitters.
I can't counter that because their hitters are better.
Yeah, exactly.
Their hitters are on another level. 4 guys hitting over 400 right now.
Yeah,
And
so
then they had like 2 or 3 guys hitting over 300. So I mean,
we just took you and we just put you
I'm
back.
sorry,
yeah.
but someone has to play devil's advocate. It wouldn't be
yeah.
entertaining
hey,
otherwise.
you just have to be that guy. I respect.
Salty,
it.
I respect
respect.
what you're saying. You're that guy, and I know it's not what you believe. You support the Bombers full with your heart.
Absolutely.
You love the Bombers. You're a
You might want to
Bomber
get
for
that
life.
right there, Salty. You want to get that.
Oh, Salt's got a
Oh.
booger.
Oh,
Yikes.
Oh.
I don't have
Oh,
a
it's
for the
still
record.
there. It's still
For
there.
the record,
It's
I
still
do
there.
not have any thing on my face. They're just saying that for you guys at
we're
home.
forgetting
It's not
someone.
true. He has
We're
a booger.
forgetting someone. We're forgetting David
Jason Conis.
Jasakonis. Yeah, I didn't even know how to say his name until right now. Thank you, Rema.
Jasakonis.
1.5
No problem.
ERA, 2 wins in 4 games started. He's doing really solid right now. I mean, it's the other option to Pendergast. I mean, Benji Parks, he's not doing too much, and other than what's his name?
Jasakonis.
I'm just thinking Janikowski, like the shoes. Like I'm a sneakerhead.
It's similar. It's similar.
Jasakonis, he's the only one close to Pendergast ERA, and it's almost a full 1.5 higher. It's almost.
Listen, Jason Conis, if he can develop, and you got to look at a guy like Wagner too. He's a hard thrower. He's a hard throwing guy for Ithaca out of the bullpen, so he could also be another big X factor. But right now, if Prendergast, Jason Conis, and Benji Parks can try to play up to the level where he knows he can play at, I feel like the starting 3 for Ithaca could be a force to be reckoned with later in the season. Just give him time to develop later into the season, and who knows, maybe going in to the tournament, which I believe the Ithaca Bombers are going to make. They're always a well-coached team by Coach George Valcente. He always does a great job. I feel like Ithaca,
they're a great team.
I feel like Ithaca could potentially make a run at the title this year.
I think there's some unfinished business here on the South Hill. I think They want more than anything to make it back to the College World Series, Division III World Series, matter of fact. And I think they have the talent to do so. Salt, what do you think?
I really think they do have the talent to get back to that level. I just question the pitching to start the season, but
That's a fair
It's
assessment.
like what I said earlier. I'm not trying to question your jump shot. You've hit numerous jump shots over me before. You have that Paul Pierce style step back that you modeled the game after. You are the truth 2.0, Salty. I'm not questioning
where are
that.
you going with this?
Oh, I was just gonna say
It's
that
true.
you need to get your form. You need to get your form. So if you
And
go away
that's
for
what
a
the
while,
Bombers pitching staff needs to do.
I mean Pendergast, he's
Pendergast is fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
even worried about
I'm
him.
not. You don't need to. Bombers baseball fans, you don't have to be worried about John
He
Pendergast.
can go
He's fine. The guy is a stud. 26 innings pitched. He's only given up one run so
Uno.
far this season. One.
Un.
25 strikeouts and 26 innings pitched. He's only given up one walk. I mean,
Control.
That is very
Control.
very good.
he's an ace.
Control.
And
But-
he is going to be the one leading the way for the Bombers this season.
All
For
right.
the on the pitching side of the aspect, when you look at the offensive side of the aspect, Colby G, the guy's a stud.
Leading
let's be
off,
honest.
batting
Let's be
489,
honest.
couple home runs, 13 RBIs. He's performing well so far this season.
Yeah, I think he will be key if he can keep this hot streak going up into the later part of the season. They can really make a run.
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
Now,
No.
oh, you go.
No,
I'm
You want me to take it?
Yeah, you go for it.
I'll
You
take
go-
it.
you go for it.
Why not? You know what, folks?
Why
This is
not?
well, this is the time of the show where we switch over.
Wait, no, we're not ready for that. Yeah, I got one more thing to talk about. I got one more thing.
Do you?
Are you trying to interrupt me?
Are you going to
Yeah,
interrupt
so we're
Salty?
not ready for your top 5 yet,
Are we not?
or top 3, or whatever's on your mind today. We're
Are we
not ready.
not?
We
What-
got.
What do we have?
I just want to talk about something for like 5 minutes, guys. Just five minutes.
But
of
I
your
have a
time.
good topic today.
I know. Just
You're going to leave our listeners on the edge of their seat.
I'm gonna make them wait
waiting
5
for
more minutes.
Salty's
I'm going to
top-
make them wait 5 more minutes
All right,
because I want to talk.
What is on your mind? Like, let's just
Why?
talk.
Why?
Why?
Why is Johnny Manziel
Oh.
and why is Teddy Bridgewater?
Yes.
Why are they visiting the Patriots?
I've got an explanation for that one.
Let me hear it.
Let's
I
hear
just
it,
don't know.
Patriots
I don't
fan.
get it.
Let's hear it.
I am a diehard Patriots fan. I love Tom Brady with all my heart. Think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks
Gross.
of all time, if not the
Gross.
greatest. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
He is going to retire at some point. Now, the Patriots, they need their backup quarterback, Ryan
They're
Mallett,
going to trade him.
is in the last year of his contract.
I don't think they should.
What they consistently throughout Brady's career have drafted guys because it's cheaper than signing a $4 million backup
when's-
quarterback,
what-
which is what a veteran
Yeah,
is.
I get. All right, continue.
But here's what I really think is the big reason for why the New England Patriots are taking a look at these guys. And this Mike Reese on ESPN Boston, he gave a good explanation for why this is the case. And if one of these guys falls down the draft board, they could obviously take one of these guys. But the biggest reason,
Patriots?
if they fall down to the 29th pick, which is most likely not going to happen. We've seen it before with Aaron
Well, is
Rodgers,
this
Brady Quinn.
Is this foreshadowing that the Patriots are trying to trade up? Maybe. Are they
I don't think that is the case. I think,
I think
the
that'd
real
be foolish of them if they try to trade up.
that's not in the Patriots style to trade up. What I really think this case is, they're just trying to get an overall feel for the entire 2014 quarterback class, because they're probably going to be trying to draft someone later in the draft, someone like Tom Savage out of Pitt, someone like AJ McCarron out of Alabama.
I feel like AJ
I-
McCarron has the potential to be a very good quarterback in the NFL.
I
A lot of
really
people are
think-
doubting him. A lot of people are saying he doesn't have the arm strength, but I've seen that guy play.
You know who
He's got
else?
a great
all the
girl
time.
on
I
his
saw
arm.
him play
He has a great
a
girl
lot
on
of
his
games
arm.
at Alabama.
You know who also
could be
didn't
a
have the
very
arm?
good-
You know who also didn't have the arm strength coming out of college?
Who?
Tom Brady. And you know what he did?
Listen, I feel like
Do you know what he did?
I feel like AJ McCarron. He's a lot of people could. I don't know if you guys would necessarily agree, but I feel like a lot of people you could potentially make the comparisons to Chad Pennington coming out of college. He wasn't that. He was a highly recruited guy, but he didn't have the arm strength. He wasn't. A lot of people were doubting that side.
I'm
of the
just
game.
wondering, like Johnny Manziel. It's
So
Johnny
he could possibly be something like that. I don't.
It's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel has been the most intriguing and exciting, and He's been my favorite college football player. I don't even like Texas A&M. I just really like Johnny Football. I'm an LSU
I love
fan.
watching Johnny Manziel.
I would watch Johnny Manziel for.
You're an LSU fan?
Yeah, I like
Really?
LSU. Yeah, hopefully, best of luck to Zach Mettenberger, Odell Beckham Jr., and Jarvis Landry in the draft. He tore his ACL at the end of last season. That really put him on the back. Yeah, put him on the back end.
Here's the thing about Johnny Manziel is either he gets drafted way too early and he becomes like Tim Tebow, or he gets drafted too late, he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he is Steve Young 2.0. And he can be a great NFL quarterback.
I think no matter where he gets drafted, I think he can make a huge contribution to a team. He could put fans in the seat. He's quick. People say he's too small, but the size doesn't matter. Muggsy Bogues played in the NBA at 5'3".
I feel
5'5".
like if the Texans pass up on Johnny Manziel,
they're going to regret it.
They are going to regret it for
Until
the
the
next
day they die.
10 years. Because
More
Johnny
than that.
Manziel is going to be a very good
I don't know why
NFL
people are. I
quarterback.
don't know why people are doubting him. I mean, even Teddy Bridgewater. I don't want.
It's just because people like doubting guys who like to have fun and party.
Yeah, I'm.
Wow.
Is that? Am I right or am I?
I think that is. I think that
Listen,
that
people
is the truth.
People are hating on the guy for having a fun time in college.
Rob Gronkowski, people hate on him for.
The guy's a monster.
Yeah, he's a
The guy's
monster on
'cause
and
he has
off the
fun.
field.
Hey, I mean,
that's what he
the
does.
The
That's what he
guy's a
does.
stud. And listen, Johnny Manziel, he's the same type of way. He parties. He has a good time. I don't get why people really care that much.
He goes out on the field and does what he has to do.
He gets the job done. He's a hard worker. I haven't heard one thing about his work ethic. I've always heard from all the reports that I've heard, all the stories that I've read about Johnny Manziel. The guy's a hard worker when he's in there, and he works hard and he parties hard. So, I mean,
He's gonna be. I'm not gonna lie.
Johnny Manziel is gonna be a very
I just
good
don't
NFL
understand why
quarterback.
he'd visit the Patriots.
Okay,
29th pick. Wait, no. Tom Brady's already there. When's Tom Brady gonna
And they
retire?
have Ryan Mallett. Why not?
Tom Brady is signed through the 2017 season, but he's in his late 30s.
When do you think he's
He
gonna
hasn't
retire?
had a setback yet. He's performed well, but I could see him retiring if he gets injured, or I could see him retiring 5 years from now.
So you're just gonna sit.
I don't know.
If you
But
get Johnny Manziel,
I
you're just gonna sit
want.
him on the sideline.
I want.
You're just gonna sit him on the
But
sideline.
why not go play
And-
Ryan Mallett? He's learned so much already from Tom Brady.
But
Why not just keep him?
Ryan Mallett is in the last year of his contract. He's going to be paid more than the Patriots. The Patriots, believe it or not, don't have that much more salary cap space. But the reason why Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater are at the Patriots camp, the reason why they've even talked to Blake Bortles is not in order to draft any of them. They're just trying to get the best overall feel for all the quarterbacks in the draft, see how good the entire class is. That's just good scouting, and that's something that the Patriots organization has proven over the past decade, 15 years, they are good at doing.
So you see them taking a quarterback in this draft?
I see
In the mid,
I see the
second,
Patriots.
third,
makes no
second,
sense.
third round.
I see the
Second, third
Patriots
round, you see them taking a quarterback?
I
Someone.
definitely see the Patriots taking
All right, I
a
have a
quarterback. They
question
have
for you.
two quarterbacks on the depth chart. One's leaving after this year. One is
I have a question.
37 years old.
I have a
Okay,
question. I have a question.
they need another quarterback.
So I have a question. Why would you draft someone, develop him under Brady for 3 years, and just let him go? When
Because
Brady's gonna retire?
that is the cheapest option.
But it's
that
also
at the
a waste
time.
of time. You
It's
just
not a
developed him
waste
for
of
nothing.
if Tom Brady had gotten injured over the past few years,
That's
Ryan
true.
Mallett would have been there to step in. Brady
true.
didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
injured.
That's true.
I
Did you
agree.
see Matt Castle? Matt Castle came in and led the Patriots to an 11-5 record the year Tom Brady was injured for the entire season except for
Yes.
half a
Yeah.
quarter in the first game.
And what's Matt Castle doing now?
Matt Castle played professional football as a starting quarterback for years for the Kansas City Chiefs,
For how many years?
For
Two.
for
years.
the
He played for,
Minnesota
like,
Vikings,
one or
and
two
now
years, I believe.
He doesn't even play for the Vikings.
he played a full season as a starter for the Patriots in 2008,
Yep.
and until last year he was an NFL quarterback. So
2008 he
that
played
is
for
a
the-
solid performance for somebody who was the last pick of the entire NFL draft. He
Mr.
outperformed
Irrelevant.
his standards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Greatly.
I give him credit. Like yeah, he played well, but
That's
it's-
because he got to play under Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick.
See, this
You
is
see,
what I
this
mean.
is why I
This is
want
what I
a
mean.
new quarterback,
This is
is
why
so
Bill
that
Belichick-
they
This is
can
what I'm
learn
saying.
from Bill
This is what I'm
Belichick.
saying. Why would you draft someone? When did they draft Mallett? 4th round, 3rd round? Does anyone know? 4th round, 3rd round?
Mallett.
Yeah.
Mallett, he was,
Maybe it was a.
I believe he was a third round
Third
pick.
round. Why would you draft someone in the 3rd round, a quarterback, develop him under Brady?
Because
No,
he's
just
been a
wait.
good backup for years.
Yeah, but he hasn't played. He hasn't touched the field.
He played in the preseason.
Whoa,
whoa. Okay, I'm sorry.
Preseason?
Okay,
Talking about preseason?
I'm talking about real
Why
games now.
develop someone and
Because
let him
he
go to
didn't
another
need
team?
to play. Tom Brady is one of.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care who you root for.
No,
He's one of the top 5 greatest
Ryan
quarterbacks
Mallett
ever.
is a great backup quarterback. He's a great quarterback at Arkansas. He's 6'6", 245. The guy is a freaking monster. The guy is a good guy to have as a backup if Tom Brady was to go down. He didn't, and so they were just able to have him just in case.
Exactly.
That was his point.
That was
why
his
he was
purpose
on
the organization.
What I'm making my
Tom
point.
Brady was to go down. They were going to bring in Ryan Mallett, and he was going to have plenty of knowledge of what Tom Brady
absolutely.
does.
But what I'm
To
saying,
go and
how old
try
did
to
you say
lead
Brady
that
was?
offense.
37? Is he 37?
I don't know exactly.
Someone look it up.
He's between 36, 37.
Someone
I'll
look
look.
up how old Tom Brady is. We're gonna see how old Tom Brady is right now.
Tom Brady is actually 36.
He's 36. He's 36.
He'll be 37 by the time the next season starts.
So, 40-year-old quarterbacks don't really make it. Say 3 years he retires. You're gonna
Are you serious? Tom Brady has shown that he is not. He's not stepping down. Brett Favre has proven that quarterbacks can play into their 40s.
Well, he didn't do much.
In
He
the
just played.
new NFL, with all the protections that these quarterbacks are getting, I could easily see him continue.
Why
to
would
play.
you take a quarterback?
Yeah, you
Because
have Ryan Mallett.
if
Just
you
sign him for 4 more years, develop him even farther, and swap
because
time with Brady.
they don't have the it's about valuing the salary cap, and the Patriots organization has proven time and time again that they are the best of the best in the NFL at valuing their assets and making the most out of their money.
Oh, valuing their assets. How's Aqib Talib doing?
He left the organization because the Patriots didn't want to spend the money for him, and you guess who else the Patriots have at quarterback now? Brandon Browner, and wait for it, Revis Island.
Listen. It's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots do.
I completely forgot about Revis.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the upcoming weeks. If they do decide to draft a quarterback, if they whatever road they go down, it's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots do. But right now, this is the time of the show where we get in. We said 5 minutes, but that was a lot more than 5 minutes. We kept you guys waiting for a lot longer. Because we all know you want to hear Salty's top 5. Is it actually a top 5 this week? Actually, don't even tell us.
Well, I'm going to transmit a message.
tell us.
I'm going to transmit a message from Pete to Salty. Pete wants to say a big no to Salty. I think a lot of people want to say, Salt, what were you doing when Salty tweeted the ending to How I Met Your Mother? But hey, it's the First Amendment.
It was hours after the show had ended. I watched
You ruined the show for Pete.
I watched it on
ruined the show
record.
for-
And
was
I'm
very
sorry.
excited to
I'm
see
sorry.
that show
But
when
you
you
have
did
you don't have to look
How
at my
dare you.
tweets. You don't have to read
How
them.
dare
That
you.
is your
Did
choice.
you tell Pete at late night?
All right. Well,
How
okay. I was sitting.
How
I was
dare
sitting
you.
eating food.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday, late night. Great food, by the way. But
Try it out sometime.
I hate tacos.
But Pete comes up, and I'm in the middle of a sentence.
Yes.
He sits down. He hears the end of the sentence
Yes.
and goes, "What are you guys talking about?" I say, "How I Met Your Mother." He gets angry because he didn't know the ending. It's not my fault. I really don't think I'm in the blame because I was in the middle of a sentence.
Listen. Pete was just at the wrong place in the wrong time.
It was both your faults.
And it was I think both
Hey,
of them.
but
The
Salt-
blame should go on both of you guys.
You know
Okay,
should go on
you know
both
what?
of you guys.
Why are we continuing to talk about this? Because I have something I need to say.
What do you need to say?
I don't want to hear what you say.
Well, this week, this edition of the SC16 podcast, we are going with a top 5.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, not 3. 5.
Not just 3, but 5. The top 5 random world records.
What the most random world records?
Yes, most random.
Wow.
Hey, before you start, can I make a fun fact? Guy from my hometown holds the records for most chin-ups. Yeah.
Cool story, bro. Cool
wanted
story.
to throw that one
Tell
out there.
that one at parties.
I don't go.
He doesn't go.
At number 5. At number 5 of my top 5, number 5, Sam Wakeling holds the world record for furthest distance traveled on a unicycle in a
No way.
24-hour period.
Wow.
Guess how far he went?
How far?
He
I wanna
traveled 281.85
Wait.
miles.
What's his name?
Sam Wakeling.
know. Sam Wakeling.
281.85 miles
Yeah.
on a unicycle in 24 hours.
Next one.
When did he do that? Do you know?
I don't know. Why do you care, Jonah? Stop interrupting my thing. At number 4.
Salty, I gotta ask you something.
What?
No, I'm just joking. Okay.
Sir, do not interrupt my top 5. At number 4.
I interrupted you plenty of
At
times.
number 4, a man in Maine owns a collection of
Man,
1,094 clocks. Why not 1,095? Why not 1,093? I do not know. He's got
Thought-provoking questions right there.
1,094 clocks.
Why not?
At number 3, I personally love this one. Fastest speed on a lawnmower is 61 miles per hour, set by Tommy Pastamente. I'm
Tommy
not
P.
sure.
It's Tommy P.
Tommy P. We'll go with Tommy
Everybody
P.
knows Tommy P.
Oh, it's Tom McDougal.
Oh, are we gonna have to explain who Tom McDougal
No,
is?
we'll save that for another time.
Wait. Is this an inside joke?
Yeah,
This is
it's
an
a third
inside
floor.
joke.
It's a third floor thing.
Because Salty does live on the third floor.
But he technically lives on the second.
I live
He
on the
just-
second
he just
floor.
sleeps on the second
I hang out on the third floor. I'm sorry, guys. Moving on to number 2. The world's tallest man is 8 feet 1 inch tall. His name is Sultan Qasim, and he owns the world record also for the largest hands and largest feet.
Where is this man from?
He is from the country known as Turkey. Hopefully Hungary doesn't decide to invade, because then Hungary would become full. Bum bum.
That was
Okay.
awful. That was
All
terrible.
right, well, moving on to number 1.
Number 1.
This is the big one. This is
Number
one.
one.
Drum roll, please. The world record for the greatest person in the world goes out to none other than Salty Steve,
Boo.
a.k.a. me. I am the greatest, and that is all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you.
Conceited much?
I know I'm modest. But that concludes my top 5.
It's never a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. I did not see that one coming. I did not.
I thought it was going to be something like that was going to blow my mind, but that was just like Salty being Salty.
That's not even a world
It's not
record.
even-
That's just a
It's just a
blatant
thing.
lie.
I know.
You sit on,
Sir!
you sit on a throne of lies, Salty.
I sit on a throne of awesomeness.
You're sitting on
Fine,
a-
I see how it
You're
is.
sitting on a swivel stool.
I am
Yes,
sitting
that's
on a
real
swivel
awesome.
stool.
That's
Get at
Salty,
me.
Salty, as producer Pete writes on the board, go take a lap.
I would take a lap, but I know the listeners are tuning in for me because, as my number 1 on the
are
random world
conceited.
record says, I'm the greatest person in the world.
Oh,
So-
so if I looked in the Guinness World Record book, I would see Salty Steve, world's best person.
Fact, page 35. Look it
I'm
up.
going to
All
get
right.
checked. I'm gonna check later.
We'll
Don't
look right now.
don't quote me on that one.
All
Don't
right,
quote
guys.
me.
You guys heard it right here first.
Salty Steve, world record. I don't even think it's published yet. I don't think it'll be published. I think it's a secret world record. But guys, this has been SE16. Thank you to Chris McCullough for joining us earlier in the show. Thank you to producer Pete in the studio, alongside Matt Rahamba, Salty Steve. Thank you guys for listening, and be sure to tune in next week as we have Andrew Marsh on, Yankees beat writer of ESPN. So guys, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. SE16 podcast at the college.
Salty Steve, number 1.